Hey guys, Mindy Lawhorne here for our live Zoom Team Fit Life call. Remember, every Monday we do some sort of team call, whether that's a recording or a video, a YouTube, or we have, like we have today, some just great sisters in the business and friends that are willing just to share what they've been through, some of their key items have really helped them move forward, but items that have helped. Can everyone please mute? Amanda, I'll switch it. Yeah, I'll switch in a minute. So sorry. So knowing that, what it does, you're good. So knowing that, this is just kind of iron sharpening iron, which is our complete team motto, which is Psalms 27:17, iron sharpens iron, so there's one man to another. And it's honestly just sharing your knowledge and sharing what it is that you love or figured out about this business. And if I could be so clear, I know I've said it 1,000 times, but there is no one way to work this business. There is no just, I reach this level and all my dreams come true. I reach this rank and all my problems go away and I'm a size 2 for the rest of my life with no cellulite. It's not true. You have to do what it is you feel is your purpose. You have to work as hard as you can for your goals and your reasons. And it has to be so personalized so that when you run a challenge group or you try to go for your goals, you're not distracted by the other stuff that's going around you, so that you can just focus. Maybe use that knowledge to help you grow. But so many of us use those distractions or those items to pull us in another direction, to get us off our goal and to really compare ourselves to others. And that will never help you reach your purpose, not only as a person, but as your purpose with coaching. You have to represent you just learning from other people and growing based on what it is that you need to hear today, based on the season you're in right now and what it is that you need to hear. Okay. So when Amanda starts talking, I want you just to think, okay, and if you pray, and I know most of you do, just say, God, what is it that I need to hear today? Please let me hear that. Let me write it down and let me implement that little bit today to help me and my team move forward. That's it. It doesn't have to be, I have to change everything based on what she says. No, you take what she says. You get a little bit about her story and her background and her history and think, okay, cool. How can I implement that in my current regimen or grow using these skills that she's sharing with us or these ideas? So that being said, Amanda Dewey has been a friend of mine for years. I got to meet her first, honestly, I believe in the class. Second, she came to audition for Shalene's company, Powder Blue Productions, which at that point, I was one of the managers. And so when I say was a manager, I worked with Christine Dwyer. And we were basically, I don't know, we were nice, right, Amanda? We were nice. Right, we were just had been doing this a while. And we knew what we wanted, and only the fun, cool girls with awesome hearts could come. And it was a really tough deal auditioning. This is way before Beachbody, way before coaching, and it's just been such an amazing time to see not only when we first met to how Amanda and I'll be honest myself have grown. Holly Hess, I keep muting you on purpose. So just FYI, it's like you and I are in this muting war. So that being said, Amanda and I share a lot in common. Not only is that kind of our background, being instructors, but I have to just get kind of to the heart of the matter. We were single moms together. We know what that's like. We know what it's like to struggle being a single mom, and whether you've ever had to be a single mom or not. Just imagine it's just you taking care of your kids for whatever reason. Your husband could be sick. Maybe he's out of the picture. It really starts to define kind of who you are, what you will do, and what you won't do. And I have a special connection to everyone, but the reason I love hearing from Amanda so much is because I know what it's like to be in her shoes. Well, she only had one. I had two. I mean, she had two, only had one. But she met this amazing, loving man who loved her where she was. He knew all her history. He knew those boys. He knew everything. And so that being said, to go through something like that and to still triumph, I mean, past all the stuff that doesn't work and past all the things you fail at and past your history. I mean, Amanda's living and walking proof that you can do this no matter what your past shows, no matter what your history shows, and that God can work through this and give you an entire new perspective, life. And I mean, in love with all of this. And And it's not because, oh yeah, she married this man and yay, everything great happened. It was, she learned skills that made her a fighter and a survivor. And through that, she implements those in her marriage, her life, and her business. And you've got to understand that's more than just fitness, y'all. That's more than just nutrition and Shakeology. That's more than just challenge groups. That's daily action, fighting against the things you don't want to repeat and fighting for the things you want to have happen, which means dying to self, doing things you don't want to do because you know they're right. And what that does for you repeated over time, it creates a different life. And that being said, Amanda's going to share a little bit about her story, but she's going to share some key tips that has not only helped her be successful, it's helped her coaches be successful, and it's kept her consistent and growing. So Amanda, I built you up. I hope you're ready to tackle this, but thank you for being on. I just really, I can't thank you enough for getting on and getting on the way we got on. I just appreciate you so much. So that being said, I'm going to unmute your audio. Everyone get a pen and paper out. Smart people take notes. And let's do this.
Well, first of all, I am so honored to be on Mindy's call. I've owed her this call for a while, and so I'm awesomely excited to be here with you guys. Mindy has been such a catalyst in my life in so many ways. She's been a mentor to me, and to be able to give back even just a little bit today is truly an honor, and I hope that I'm able to serve her and her team as well as she's served me over the years. So with that, I'm going to get started. I'm going to let you know I'm going to breeze through my story super duper fast, and not because it's not important and not because it's not powerful, but because I want you more than anything to get to the action steps. And the reason why I'm going to still share my story is because I need you to know, kind of like Mindy said, it is not like if you looked at everything I've done in my life over the last 6.5 years, if you looked at that, you would say, no way has this girl been a successful coach. She's gone to hell and back. And I want you to know that once I share how I've gotten to where I am with my business, that there was never just a pretty perfect moment in time where it was convenient for me to do this, where it was awesome. We've all sacrificed different things over the years. So that's kind of why I want to share what I will of my story. Again, I'm going to go fast with that part, but not because it's not important. But when I started this business, I met with my sponsor, who is another sister coach of ours, Melissa McAllister, and I had literally that month filed bankruptcy. My house had been foreclosed on the month before. I had no job other than being a fitness instructor, and I know there's fitness instructors on here that realize being a fitness instructor maybe pays your gas to get there, your music, your choreography, and your shoes. So you're barely breaking even with it. I had no job, no insurance, and I was recently divorced. I knew this was going to happen. I apologize. Give me 1 second because there's someone at my door. I knew getting on this call today that was going to happen. They're going to leave the door. Okay. So this is not convenient, not perfect. This is what coaching looks like. Goldie, come. I'll give you bones. Yes, I keep bones at my desk to keep my doggies happy when I do calls. Okay, Goldie. So that being said, we met at a Starbucks, and she put the opportunity in front of me. I was one of those people that said, PX90, I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't do like the late night infomercial things because I couldn't afford cable, so I didn't have it. I had no idea, had not even tasted Shakeology, but I trusted her, and I knew she was somewhere where I was not, and I kind of wanted to be where she was. So I didn't ask a whole lot of questions other than how much does it cost? And when she explained that it was smart to start with Shakeology, we didn't have challenge packs back then, I trusted her. I believed her. So it was around $140 because it was Shakeology plus the $40 sign-up fee. And no. Oh, I have to answer the door because it's Amazon Prime now. Hold on. I just have to grab it. Thank you.
Well, Amazon Prime, it's either that or UPS. I would be at the door too, and I would pause. Amanda, I would pause too, just so you know. Just so you know. Thanks for getting on, by the way. Thanks, man. Hey, Amanda. Or I think you're Mandy. Could be Amanda. All right, you're perfect, Amanda. I talked to them a second. Hello, hashtag life.
No more discussions. So I literally was like flushing at the face and went, can I check my bank account on your computer? And I sat there and I checked my bank account and I had like $40 or so. So I was like, okay, I can't do it today. I promise in 2 weeks I'll have the money. Will you meet me again? And of course she said yes, because she's as sweet as pie. And I'm sure she drove away thinking, oh my God, this girl, right? This broke girl's never going to do anything. 2 weeks later, I had fed my kids hot dogs and tuna because it was cheap. And I sold stuff on a garage, like at garage sales. I just did everything I could to gather up $140. That day when I went to sign up as a coach, I had $150 in my bank account, and I spent $140 on it on a whim, thinking maybe, just maybe, this will be the thing that gets me out of this place that I'm in. And that's literally how I started. So when people say they're broke, they don't have money, I'm like, no, honey, you don't even know. Let me tell you where I was when I started. I had no money. So that's kind of how I set to work. Again, there was nothing in place. You guys, if you've joined in the last probably even 3 years, there is so much more available to you today than what we had back then. It was a very slow starter in the business because I had no clue what it was, but I made just enough money in my first year and got just connected enough with the community that I was like, cool, I think this is where I want to be. Second year, I started taking things a little bit more seriously, started to grow, connected with the community a little bit more, realized, oh, like that second year, I made more money than I had ever made in my adult life. And I was like, and it wasn't much. I just hadn't had any real serious jobs because I hated working for other people. Imagine that. And so, I had made just enough money to go, okay, I need to get my life together. What's going to happen if I really do this thing? And then in year 3, that's kind of when I really set to work. Meanwhile, those first 3 years, I was dating my now husband, but it's an interesting life, dating and, then moving in together and bringing him into this little family of 3 that we kind of were, me and my 2 boys. So, there's that interesting transition. There was a move, and all those new life things. I had a kid starting kindergarten and one starting preschool. It was a crazy life. So that third year, my team and everything kind of came together. And for the very first time, we hit elite, which was amazing. It was such an incredible accomplishment. You see me and Mindy's stars behind our heads. And that was, it was just this amazing moment. My business took off, my finances started to go up, and I hit elite, and it was incredible. And then all of a sudden, 2012? Yeah, okay. So 2013 hit, and it hit like crazy. Because, everything was going really well. My husband and I were like, oh, let's sell our house and build a new house. And so we took our little family of 4 from this house and we moved into an apartment because we were going to build. And literally the day that we moved into our apartment, my husband, I think, didn't Lee do the same thing, tore his bicep out of his forearm? Oh, that was somebody else. That was Robert Hudgens. Okay. Anyways, so he had an injury. 1 month later, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he lives in Minnesota with the rest of my family. So I spent the last 4 months of his life traveling back and forth a ton, spending as much time as we could with him during his healthy time. And then that last, 4 to 6 weeks when he was really unhealthy, just helping care for him and keeping him home as long as possible. And meanwhile, as much as I really wanted to hide in a hole and I was super depressed, I kept just doing the basics, of the business, which I will kind of cover some of the things that are bare minimums. And when I say, even if your dad is on his deathbed dying of cancer, you can still hit Success Club 5. How do I know this? Because you can, and I did. Okay. And it's not because I'm some cold-hearted biatch that didn't love her dad. It's because it's not that hard to hit Success Club, guys. It's not. And so we'll get into that. But 2013 was a rough year. I know you saw in my stats, there was 1 year where I hit Premier. Kind of weird, right? I hit elite the year before, hit elite the following 2 years. What happened? Well, I was living in an apartment, depressed as hell because I hated being in an apartment. I was building a house. I had moved. My dad had cancer. My dad passed away. And that's life. I had 3 surgeries. Bill had 1, all in that same year. And so, yeah, I hit Premier 1 year. But as Mindy said, I had some other priorities going on that year. And I still managed to run a successful business. 2014 came along, my team regrouped, we pushed, and we did it again. But that year, we moved into our house, put kids in a new school district. Oh, I forgot to mention I had a third baby somewhere in that whole mess. I had a third baby. Then, we got settled in a new house and went, oh, why not have a fourth? So Italy in 2014 and 2015, new baby. Now I'm a mom with 4 kids, and here we are today where I'm, inching up on that 7-figure income. And like I said, if you look at life for the last 6.5 years, it's not like it's been easy. So with all of that said, I've been often, and I know, Mindy, you get asked this all the time too, what is it, everybody wants that secret sauce, or it can't just possibly be the 4 vital behaviors. And in our learnings, you learn that success lies in our habits. And so I started to investigate, well, what habits do I have above and beyond the 4 vital behaviors? What is it really that I do on a weekly, daily, monthly, quarterly basis that might be different? If you were to follow me around for a week, what would you see in my life or what would you see in my business? And again, Mindy's right. These things apply to every aspect of my life. My marriage comes first. And that is there so that my family and my kids can have a strong foundation. I've done it wrong. I will not go there again. I had the wrong husband. I have the right one now, and I am going to be darn sure I cherish every moment I have with him. So, that comes first, then my kiddos, then this business. And that within that business is friends and fun and all this fabulous stuff that we get to do. So at the top of your paper, because I know you're taking notes, you're going to write the words elite behaviors. And even if you're a new coach and you signed up yesterday, I want you to know that if you apply these steps today, you will grow your business in such a fabulous, fantastic way that's so solid and has such strength to it that you will grow so much faster and so much cleaner, and you'll feel so balanced and so good about your business if you do it this way. So there's going to be 11 steps. Coincidence, Mindy, I know it's 11, just happens to be 11. And we're going to start with number 1. And next to number 1, I want you to list A, B, C, and D, because there are 4 parts to number 1. Number 1 is something that I do every single Monday. And everything I'm about to explain, I want you to know, only takes me about 15 minutes to do. And this 15 minutes is the game changer. I know Mindy said if there's one thing you can implement today, I'm going to tell you right now, this is it. If there's one thing you could implement today, it's this 15 minutes I'm going to ask you to spend either on Sunday night or Monday morning. Letter A is attitude. Every Monday morning, you are going to sit down, put pen to paper, and write 2 sentences about how you want your attitude to be this week towards your life, your business, your work, your marriage, whatever it is. It's pretty all-encompassing because it's only 2 sentences. You're going to write it down on a clean sheet of paper, and you're going to leave it on your desk. Your attitude in this life is everything. How are you going? What's your purpose? What are you serving? Who are you serving? Is it going to be a joyous week? Is it going to be a peaceful week? Is it going to be a week of giving? What is it? What is your purpose this week? And that's going to set your attitude for your entire week. B, the next step is learning. So B is learn. The next thing you're going to write down on your paper is one very small thing you know you need to learn this week. Is it you need to learn, some of you heard about Streak at the last Super Saturday, and Christine said, so maybe this week you need to learn one aspect of Streak. Okay, maybe you're really struggling with Instagram and you're like, you know what, this week I'm going to figure out the content I should be, or hashtags on Instagram. Okay, maybe it's Snapchat, or maybe it's I need to figure out a personal growth plan. Maybe I need to spend some time on YouTube studying some things. So it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It's one small thing that you know you can learn in a week, maybe 5 minutes a day. Okay, so your learning plan for the week. C is visualize. Now, that can mean a lot of different things to different people. My college degree is in English literature. So for me, visualization comes out in words. So I go back to that same paper where I've set out my attitude for the week, and I follow up with visualization. This week, I'm going to have a sexy date night with my husband. I'm going to spend at least 30 minutes one-on-one with each one of my kiddos. So much easier said than done, okay? I'm gonna spend fun, playful 20 minutes one-on-one with each of my kiddos. I'm gonna spend time serving my newest coaches and making sure that I understand their goals, okay? So this is what I'm talking about when I'm visualizing. I like to see it in words. Maybe for you it's pictures, but here's the thing. This is not meant to be a distraction. This is not a procrastination. This is not a stalling tactic. Oh, I didn't visualize my week, so I can't possibly hit Success Club this month. No, this is like quick. Remember, all 4 of these things happen in 15 minutes. So it's a quick visualization. And maybe you're someone who can pray or meditate. Maybe it comes out through prayer or meditation, okay? D, have you all heard the story from Brian Tracy? How many of you have read Eat That Frog? How many of you have read it? Okay, only a couple. So maybe I might stump a few of you. You're just going to hold up your fingers after I ask the question. There are 4 frogs sitting on a lily pad, and all 4 make the decision to jump. How many frogs are left on the lily pad? Hold up your fingers. Show me how many frogs are left in the lily pad. Come on, be brave. Christy and Amanda, quit being shy. Right? She says 0, right? 4. The person who's read Brian Tracy knows the answer. 4, because making the decision to do something doesn't mean you've taken the action to do something. So D is action. And here's what I mean by your Monday morning 15 minutes final thing is act. What do I mean by that? That means you're pulling out your iPhone, because everything is in my iCal. I don't know about you guys, but everything's in my iCal. And I look up my appointments for every single day. What phone calls do I have set up? What groups am I running? Who am I meeting for lunch this week? Everything that's on my iCal for the week, I'm shooting out a quick text or Facebook message, just confirming our appointment for 12 o'clock on Tuesday. Mindy, are we still having that call Monday at 2:30? You know, whatever it is, shooting it out, taking action. And if I have no freaking things on my planner, I better look in my back office and see who I need to hook up with. Who's got some inactive coaches falling apart? Who's about to lose rank? Maybe I need to reach out to that person and spend some time with them this week, right? So action, it's going to be your plan of action for the week, just 1 week, okay? And those 15 minutes are going to change your life, not just your business, your life. So you do nothing else. You're going to do number 1. Number 2, I want you to write down, tracking makes a difference. Under tracking, you're going to write the words focus, energy, plan, and adjust. So the reason I have those words under there, tracking gives you focus. I don't know if you've ever heard the saying before, but what you shine a light on in your life is what shines in your life. So if you know that there's an area where you're wanting to grow, you need to track that. What does that mean? Well, what if your goal right now is to just grow in personal development? Track that shit, okay? Track it. You better make sure that you're clocking those 15 minutes a week, or 15 minutes a day. You better be sure you're tracking those 10 pages a week. Put that somewhere where you're seeing it every day. You're tracking volume, you better track it. You have to have those numbers, and you have to have it in front of your face. It's going to give you focus. It's also going to give you energy, because when you see it all the time and you see those numbers sitting there, it gives you energy to put behind it. You know, if you're tracking volume, that's the first thing you're going to look at every morning for the week, right? You're tracking it, you're looking at it, you've got energy behind it. It also gives you the opportunity to make a plan, okay? If you're tracking, I'm just going to go back to personal development because that's an easy one, but if you're tracking your personal development, you can also look at your calendar and go, wow, there's really not a lot of sitting time in my life this week. I'm going to be in the car a lot. Ding, ding, ding. Here's my plan. I'm going to plan to listen more this week than I am to read. Or maybe on the flip side, you're like, gosh, I'm going to be sitting at a lot of practices and in a lot of car lines this week. I better make sure that I have a book in the car, or maybe even 2 if you're going to be sitting a lot, right? You're going to make that plan. And then it also allows you to adjust. That's why that last one is on there. So if something's not working for you, if your plan last week was to do all this listening in the car, but it turns out you're dragging a toddler with you and your toddler yaps at you the whole entire time, and you're like, I am not retaining any of this because I'm constantly getting hit in the back of the head with a sippy cup or a shoe, right? So you're like, you know what? I need to adjust. Maybe I need to start listening to my personal development while I'm walking in the morning. Maybe I really am familiar with my PIO workout and I turn down the volume on Shalene and I turn up the volume on my podcast. Okay, so you're going to be able to adjust, but you can't do any of that if you're not tracking it. And that applies to every aspect of the business. Success Club points, volume, your own and your team's, recruiting, personal development, time you're spending on activities. Are you spending too much time doing, telling your coaches what to do and not doing it yourself? What are you tracking? And it's going to make a difference because numbers don't lie, right? Number 3, recruit 3 to 5 business builders a month. How dare I? Okay. If you don't do that, you're going to see a wane in your business. And here's why 3 to 5 is important. Because every month, this is kind of how I look at the 3. You're recruiting one person to be new, like a new coach, adding towards growing your rank. You're replacing one person who's going to go inactive and in and out of being inactive all the time. So you're replacing someone for that person who's not necessarily quitting, but they're just going to be sloppy, right? And you got to recruit one coach for the coach who quits. So at a minimum, you're looking at 3 coaches a month just to stay where you're at. Okay, closer to 5 and more if you're looking to grow. Okay, now the law of numbers never changes. It doesn't matter if it's Amanda or Mindy or me. If you put us each in a room with 10 people, the law of numbers is that 1 out of 10 is going to say yes. So if I'm asking you to recruit 3 to 5 business builders a month, guess what you have to do? Ask one person a day to join you in the coaching opportunity. One person a day. And if you ask 30 by the end of the month, guess how many coaches you'll have? Even if you're a brand new coach who just signed up, you'll still have 3 new coaches. So I don't want you to sit here and tell me that recruiting is hard. Mindy and I have been doing this a long time. So if we're in a room with 10 people, we may have a little bit law of numbers. We may get 3 or 5. So that, yes, of course we have that working towards our advantage because we've been doing it longer. But even the newest of new people are going to get 1 out of 10 just because they are. Okay. So I don't want anybody to say, well, recruiting's hard. No, it's not. You're just not talking to anybody about it. 1 person a day equals 3 coaches at the end of the month. Yes or yes? Thank you. All right. Number 4, you need to be running routine monthly groups. You need to be running routine challenges and routine trainings. If you do not have a team, then you're probably plugging into Mindy's because I guarantee you she's running routine trainings and challenges. If you do have your own team, then you need to be running them with your team and sharing with them what's coming. So I have like a September calendar so they know, and they know that in October that this is going to be our challenge they all have, and my team can constantly be working towards something together, right? They all know it's coming, they all know where to plug in, and it's a routine thing. It'll also, what that will do not only for your team and for yourself, but it will keep your customers and your potential clients on their toes because they know you're going to be doing something every month. Well, what's Christy up to this month, right? What's COC going to be doing next month? I know I wasn't, into like she was going to run a marathon last month, but what's she doing this month, right? So you want to have that consistency in that every month you're doing something, both challenges and trainings. Number 5, if I could just like wave my magic wand and make you all actually act on what I'm about to say, I'd be such a happy person, and I know Mindy would be too. Work with the willing. End of story. I don't want to hear you come to me anymore and say, well, so-and-so says they want blah, blah, blah. And yes, I understand this. Did they come to your team call? No. Do they comment on your stuff on your page? No. Have they ordered Shakeology in the past 3 months? No. Then stop caring what they say. You absolutely must go based off your coach's actions. Show up for the people who are showing up. You cannot want this business bad enough. You cannot want it bad enough for other people. It will only slow down, hinder break your business. Okay? You can still love them. You don't kick them out of the team page and tell them they're a piece of poo and that they suck as a coach and they should have never signed up and they should quit. No, I'm not saying that. You leave them in the team page. You love them for where they're at, but you stop spending 3 hours on the phone with them every week, listening to them cry about how bad they want this business. No, you have people waiting for you that need this, that will act on it. You must work with the willing, and I will not say anything more about that. Do you hear me? All right. I'm mad about that one. Number 6, recognize, of course, recognition is our newest vital behavior. Recognize all behaviors to repeat. So I want you to jot down great wording, sharing. Like, sometimes a coach shares something scary. Give them some recognition for that. Share that post in your team page and say, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of so-and-so sharing XYZ. Brandon, can you meet yourself? Glad to see you. You got him? There we go. Thank you. But share that. Let the team go love on them. Great wording is a really good one to recognize, because I think especially new coaches, they want to put out their, I'm drinking Shakeology and doing insanity and everybody on the planet should be a coach. So they need to see really good wording and ways to see this in a great way. Eye-catching photos is another one. I see so many dark, nasty, dingy photos. So when I see a great one, I want to share that with my team so they can see examples of what a great eye-catching photo looks like. Volume is another biggie. Y'all, you can't take rank to the bank. You take volume to the bank. So you want to make sure that you're catching those coaches on your team who are big producers, but maybe not doing certain other things. So you want to shout out volume, and then of course, Success Club. Which brings me to number 7, create a culture of Success Club. Success Club should be a living, breathing organism within your team. My new coach training has done, oh my God, it's been different like every day for like the past 5 years. But finally, I think we've sat on something where the only thing my new coaches need to know is what is Success Club and how do I do it? Why? Because if they don't do anything else in the business, like they come in, they're like, I don't care about money, I don't care about rank, I don't do anything else, I just want to help people. And then they get one no, and they're like, no, I can't help people because someone told me no. No, you're going to help people. And Success Club is your measure of you helping people. That means you've helped at least 3 people this month, right? So it's meeting your goal of helping people. For those who do come in for the money, it's going to help you grow financially. For those coming wanting rank, it's going to help you in rank. It's the thing that your coaches need to know. So your new coach training, I hope, includes a lot of hitting Success Club. This is how you do it. Here's how we're going to help you get there. This is why it's important. Okay? And then you want to be living, eating, breathing it. I do weekly shout outs to all of my personally sponsors on Thursday of updating where they are with their Success Club points, and trust you me, they want to be on that list and they hate it when they're not. And, at the end of the month, of course, shouting out Success Club along with some other things. But it's got to be the cornerstone of your business everywhere. And not to mention, this is obvious, but you should be hitting it high. Okay. So number 8, we're almost there, guys. You're doing great. Cast a vision to your team. Where are my red or ruby personalities at? Where are my reds or my rubies? I'm the only red or ruby on here? Wow. Okay, so I may be the only person on here that struggles with this.
Real fast. A lot of people don't know Danny Johnson.
Okay.
So I know that there's probably other ways they can figure out what those are. But can you just quickly say, so here's 4 basic personalities based on these gems, and this is how you figure it out, because that's going to help make when you explain red or ruby a little bit more impactful, because I don't talk about that much. So just explain it real quick for me.
Okay, so I'm going to do it in color codes because that one's actually, I think, even more simple than the gems. So a red is motivated by power and money. It's okay. I'm a red. Hello. So your reds are people who are super blunt. They move super fast. They do it on their own. They don't ask a lot of questions. They're probably the last people when you bring them on board to want to go to live events. They're probably and Reds are great. They're super ambitious. Their downfall, however, is they won't play if they don't think they can win. So that's the downfall of a Red. If they don't think they can win, they may not play. But they're super ambitious and are dominated by power and money. Okay, so then you have blue personalities. Blue is the most common personality in the United States, believe it or not, and those are people that are motivated by helping others. We tend to draw in a lot of blues, teachers, nurses, even fitness people that are really drawn to just serving others. If they know that it's going to help someone else, they're motivated to do it. Okay, they're martyrs. And then that can be the blue downfall, is that they can be a martyr. Sometimes they tend to put themselves on the back burner because they're so busy helping other people that they forget to help themselves. Yellows are motivated by fun. If there's a party, if there's a live event, if you tell them that we get to go on trips, they're like, ooh, I want to coach. That looks fun. Okay, they're going to make their challenge groups into parties. Everything is really, really super fun. The downfall of a yellow is that they get distracted by sparkly things. And if it gets to be mundane or a little bit too boring, they're like, I don't really want to do this anymore. So Mindy is your yellow right there. I know you've got another yellow, which would be Ember on your team. Okay, total Ember's totally yellow. And then your last color is actually white. Whites are motivated by peace and contentment. They just want everybody to get along. They want everybody to be stable, want everything to be steady, okay? And the tendency to have the downfall for whites in the business, the downfall for whites tends to be they don't want to bug anybody. They don't want to bother, they just, don't want to put anybody out, so that can tend to slow them down because they're afraid that what they're doing is upsetting or turning the ship. So when I talk about colors, that's what I'm talking about. So when I say cast a vision to your team, Reds are like charging through. I don't know if you work with Josh Coates or John Maxwell either, but Reds are like rhinoceroses. We just charge through and we will make a path if there isn't one. But what we forget to do is communicate what we're doing to the rest of our team and everybody else around us. And that has been my downfall for like 6 years. Only within probably the last 6 months have I figured out that if I want my people to duplicate what I'm doing, I can't just lead and hope that they'll watch. I have to communicate it. I can't just keep everything in here. I have to make a calendar and a plan. Mindy.
May I add something on that? Because Amanda's like totally right, but here's something I want you to know too. No one is 100% one, because I'm kind of red. Like my first is yellow. Yellow is my undisciplined natural nature where I just want to have summer party and like, let's just have fun. Like I want to pee my pants with you. You're like, what is that going to do? But that's fun. But what's funny is everyone has a second part, possibly third, but most people are two. And sometimes they shift or you're more one than the other. But what Amanda's describing to you about red right now, not that first, like I'm not really motivated by money and like my name. I just freaking hate to be last, number one. Number two, I want to be where the fun girls are. But what she's saying right now about this red part of her, that's me too. So just know you are who you are. But here's the thing. Once you become disciplined in business, you've got to clearly define where your strengths and weaknesses are, and they can totally work together. But if I was still just that sanguine, let's party and have fun, Amanda wouldn't even be on this call because y'all wouldn't even be my coaches. You know what I mean? So I just want to lovingly say, as she's describing this, you're more than one, but you also can clearly kind of mature and tweak these to be this amazing strength that you have and how you can help other people. So don't think, well, I'm this and that's that. So just to clarify that, because there's a huge learning point right here, right now with what she's telling you, because she's learned to refine that a bit. And she's learned to kind of figure out what works and what doesn't. Oh, and I can't just be 100% me and get pissed off when the people don't do what I do because they're not my personality. And your coaches won't all be your personality. So we have to figure out how to describe what it is to do kind of for everyone's learning style or behavior or meet them where they are currently. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. I'll be quiet, Amanda. I just had to clarify that because, not clarify, but add to it because I was just like that. I'm like, well, I can't be Amanda. Well, the cool thing is I don't have to be, but I can refine myself a bit.
Yep, totally. I just assumed that when I was training people like to run challenge groups, I'm like, well, you run it. why do I have to tell you anything else? But that was a personality flaw for me. And so I call it a flaw. You know what I'm trying to say. But what I've learned is that, okay, Amanda, take 5 seconds to slow down. And I mean, I know like this, what I'm doing in October. Like we hit September 1st and I'm like, okay, August is behind me, September's all set. I know what I'm doing in October. So now what I've learned to do, and I've trained and disciplined myself to do, is to write it down on paper, have my assistant make a pretty graphic, and then share that with my team. Another way that I'm casting vision to my team is doing a weekly forecasting call where I just make sure that we're all on the same page, and then I share a little training tip. Another way that I'm doing it is sharing my personal goals with my team members that it affects, so that we're all, working towards the same thing. I think we have a lot of times a tendency to think, well, these goals seem selfish, or, nobody on my team will necessarily care what my goals are. But what I've actually found is that when I share my goals openly and honestly with them, that a lot of them are like, yes, like we want this. We see that you want this for us. We want this for ourselves too. And by all of us working together, we are going to all reach the current goals that we have. And so what I've actually found is that rather than, it coming across yucky, they realize that we all can't succeed without each other. And they see that that's a team effort. So being able to cast that vision in a multitude of ways. Also speaking their love languages, but that's another call entirely. Number 9 is take initiative with new leaders. Take initiative with new leaders. So you're going to have 2 things under there. First is going to be create opportunities to mentor them. And the next thing is going to say create opportunities for them to lead. So when I say create opportunities to mentor them, you're working with the willing. You are working with people who are actively showing up, not people that you have to remind 75 times that you have a call, but the people who are coming to you saying, are we still on for the call? You're mentoring the right person when they're reminding you, right? But you have to give them that opportunity. So how are you going to do it? You're going to do it in a group setting. You're going to do it one-on-one. You're going to do it in person. You're going to do it on Zoom. Are you going to follow a script of some sort? What is it that you're going to do? You have to create that though. You can't just think again that, well, I'm leading by example. So that's mentoring. Well, yes and no, right? So you're creating those opportunities. And when I say creating opportunities for them to lead, there's a multitude of ways you can do that as well. Maybe it's time for them to co-lead challenges with you. I love the concept of I do, we do, you do, right? So I do. Maybe you're my customer and I lead you through a challenge. Okay, now you're a coach. We are going to lead a challenge together. Now we've done one together. It's your turn. Go ahead and lead, right? Maybe you have more experience. I don't know where you guys are at, but maybe you have people that are eking up on diamonds who are really showing up. Maybe you give them a portion of your call to speak. Just get them comfortable being on a call. What is it that you can give them opportunity to shine, and also shine in front of their people, right? You want them to be seen as a leader amongst leaders. So that doesn't just happen though, guys. That's creating opportunities to do so. Number 10 is success partners. And I'm going to say this once. It is not Mindy's job to find you a success partner. It's not Mindy's job. It's your job to see someone in this network who scares you a little bit, who's on a similar journey with priorities. Okay, so for the longest time, I didn't necessarily want to work with a dude, but as it turns out, there's a dude in this business who has walked with me this whole way. Like we have like identical businesses and we have identical priorities, and we have completely opposite strengths and weaknesses. And that's the key factor. You want to have similar priorities and similar goals and opposite strengths and weaknesses. So I love and adore my success partner. We hold each other accountable. And what you're going to do for your coaches is you're going to hold them accountable to finding a success partner. You're not going to do it for them though. And then you're going to hold them accountable to working with that success partner. I have it in my calendar. I just check in with my coaches quarterly. You still working with so-and-so? How's that going? Is it serving you, or is it kind of becoming a hindrance? Or are you just not, your schedule's not matching up? And then encouraging them to find someone new. Or if the relationship's okay, but it's not great, well, are there some tweaks that could be made to make that relationship better? Or if it's going great, awesome. Make sure that you cherish that relationship and start working together as much as you can. Okay, so success partners are critical. I've always had one in this business, but mine have changed. I had one early on. We worked together for a couple of years. Then we just kind of started to go our separate ways. Found another one, worked together for a couple of years. Then we just kind of started to go our separate ways. Now I've been working with my current success partner, Jeff, for a year, and we are so well matched. I love, 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 and adore him, and he was the perfect success partner for me. And I'm not giving him up anytime soon. Last, it's number 11. It's the last one. You're finally going to get me to shut up. It's get creative. You need to be willing to try things. So while we have those 4 vital behaviors, I want you to know there's no right or wrong way to do them. You want to play with social media, play. You want to try it, try it. There's no risk. Just try it. Try this new social media platform. Play with it. See if it's yours. Get creative with your challenge groups. Try running one you've never run before. I also say, like, if you're a fan of time blocking, which is like my thing, it's like I preach this, time blocking, make sure that you have a block every day of creative space. Again, I'm a words person, so for me, it's a blank piece of paper and a pen. What's going to come to mind? And it's usually after personal development time. Maybe I get an idea for a new training. Maybe I get a new idea for a coach that's been weighing heavy on my heart. Whatever it is, but you need to have some quiet time where you can create. Yes or yes? You with me? And here's the last thing I'm going to say about getting creative. If you have this idea and you're like, I'm really excited about the idea. I'm really not sure how the implementation of it's going to work. Here's what I want you to do. Quarterly check-ins. I do it with everything. We do it with our finances. My husband and I do it with our relationship. I do it mentally and on paper with the kiddos. How are their schedules looking? How's their emotional state? What's going on with them? Just quarterly check-ins, but then I do it with my business. How's volume been this quarter? How about rank advancements? How about trainings? What's working? And so if something's working, awesome. Can I make it better? If it's not working, do I need to drop it entirely, or do I just need to change some things about it? So whenever I commit to something, I'm not scared to commit to it because I know that I'm going to do it for a quarter. And then after that quarter, then I can do that check-in and go, you know what, that worked amazing. We're going to run with that. That didn't work so well. We need to can it. Or, you know what, this is okay, and this is how I think I can make it better. So it's really just quarterly check-ins. And that allows me to have the freedom to feel a little bit more creative and not so scared of failing or being married to it for a really long time. So when I say, they say success leaves a path. For me, these are those weekly, daily, quarterly habits that I have that I think go along with those vital behaviors, but that if you followed me around for a week or two, you'd see me doing these things and go, okay, that's maybe something I can add or implement. And the very last thing that I'll say is that none of this, nothing that Mindy has, nothing that I have is anything different than what you can have in your life. The only difference between any of us is time and consistency. Time and consistency are going to equal success. The reason that my business is where it is today is because in 2013, when life hit like 5 tons of bricks, I didn't quit. I still posted on social media every day. I still reached out to just enough people to hit Success Club 5. And I still communicated with my team and encouraged them and their results and their success. And I did that on plane rides to and from Minnesota. I did that from my dad's cabin out in the woods. I did that from home in probably, to be quite honest, probably less than an hour a day. Okay. The difference is you don't quit. And it doesn't happen overnight. If you could see our income progressions, you would see that, sometimes it took big jumps and sometimes it just grew by this much. But the point is that it grew. And the last thing that I'll leave you with in that, we saw Gary Vaynerchuk over the summer. If you didn't see him live, you probably saw a recording. And one of his things is, entrepreneurs aren't patient enough. This business takes discipline and patience. And something that I learned from one of my absolute favorite mentors in the world, Mindy Lawhorne, is that, quote, in the waiting, we grow. In the waiting, we grow. And I don't know where she got that, but that has, oh my God, if I could tell you, I need to probably have a tattoo of it on my wrist. Because if I could tell you how many times I have said those words to myself and to others, it brings me to tears because it's that powerful. It is so worth that wait. And it's the growth that you're going to experience it's really not about what you end up having. It's about who you become because of it. And that growth and the person that I know Mindy is today and that I am today is, I feel like the person I was is a shadow, and that is truly what this business is about. So I'm not going to preach anymore. I don't even know how long I spoke, so I apologize, but I told Mindy it would be long. So there you go.
First of all, thank you, Amanda, so much. Oh my gosh, it doesn't matter how long you spoke. I could care less. This is recording. People have to hop off, then they can hop on later. But I want you just one more time to go through, just give me the title of each of those steps. I was writing and putting notes on my phone, so I missed a couple on both. So number one, can you just go over those again?
Yep. 1, A, attitude. B, learn. C, visualize. D, act. Number 2, tracking makes a difference. Right. Focus. Energy, plan, adjust. Number 3, recruit 3 to 5 business builders a month. 4, run routine monthly groups, challenges, and trainings. 5, work with the willing. 6, recognize behaviors to repeat. Great wording, sharing, eye-catching photos, volume, and success club. 7, create a culture of success club. You hear my kids, it's all going to hell today. 8, cast a vision to your team. 9, take initiative with new leaders. Create opportunities to mentor them. Create opportunities for them to lead. Number 10 is success partners. Hold your coaches accountable to finding one and working with one consistently. Number 11 is get creative. Try it and have quarterly check-ins.
That is fantastic. Linda, thank you so much for this time. And thank you for your willingness to be honest. I think, just kind of in closing, we look at people and just go, their life's perfect. You know what I mean? And I look at, I think you mentioned McAllister. I remember I was looking at her and I'm like, I think she's an alien. Like not only is her body alien-ish, she doesn't crave Cheetos. And she said, no, I've never wanted a Cheeto. And I'm like, you're lying to me. She's like, I'm not. I don't get you. I'm kidding. But the whole thing is everyone has issues. Everyone struggles. Everyone has problems. And we, of course, look at our life right now on our messy desk or, as we're folding socks and go, how could I ever be a top coach? Look at what I do. That has nothing to do with you being a top coach. And plus, if you make your goal to be a top coach, then that's all you're ever going to get. And I have plenty of people, Amanda will know this too, people that have reached those ranks and they're like, it's got to be for the reasons you want to do it and for your why and your way about the why. Because like she said, we do grow so much in the waiting, but it's also we figure out, I reached that goal and it's just stupid for me. It just sucked for me. Or and I've said this before in a couple of calls, I wanted to hit 15 star. I really did. And I hit it, and I love all of our 15-star team that we hit it. But 5 of those, I don't even talk to anymore. They're just like, I love you, and I love this business, but I'm done. And I'm just like, oh, I thought forever they would be 15-star too. 5 of my 15 people, I thought we would go arm in arm until death. But you know what? They were just like, yeah, no, it's good. I like it. I love this business, but I'll move on. And I'm just like, what? So here, that's I got there and it was not what I thought. I mean, I thought we'd all get matching tattoos and like be sisters forever, you know? And the sheer fact is, I got it, I hit that, and I was like, oh, this feels a little different than I thought it would. Do you know what I mean? Not that that's a bad goal, but I just want to be completely clear and just, you know, echo what Amanda said. You have to figure out what your thing is. You got to do you, and you got to help your people with consistency, and remember what it's like to be new, which, by the way, is my tattoo for this last 2 quarters. Remember what it's like when you began. Remember what it was like when you began. So I forget. I start talking to people like they've been in it for 8 years, like me. And I'm like, stop. So Amanda, oh my gosh, this is so good. And honestly, you could cut this up into like 3 or 4 calls, to be honest. This is so meaty and thick. I appreciate you so much. I will have this kind of reiterated within a little bit of, you know, titles, you know, the points you went over. But thank you so much. And you guys, what I'd love for you to do is just go to Amanda's page on Facebook if you're not friends with her. It's Amanda Wald, W-O-L-D, Dewey, D-E-W-E-Y, and just say thank you. Thank you, you know, like her, you know, her page, her profile page, but also just go and say just thank you for the time. You know, I think you should take a snapshot of this and, oh my gosh, who's this? Let me see. Oh, hi. Oh, talk about distracted by shiny things. Hey, you look like your sister. You look like your sister. So by the way, his sister is just to the back side of her head with the blonde hair. And by the way, her 2 older boys are dark as can be. Dark hair. And then she has these 2 little blondies. Oh my God. Oh, hi, brother. Oh my gosh. Good to see you guys. Amanda, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. Thank you guys so much. You guys, you can find people. Amanda's business, I mean, I don't even think we're really connected. I don't think I ever even get to see coaches she signs, but we still are 100% cheerleaders for each other. She doesn't hide answers from me. What's up? Well, hey, is that the neighbor boy? Yeah, all of our neighbors are upstairs. They were wrestling, you know, with Lee minutes ago. But I just want to say, find those people that get you and that just love you for you, and you guys sharpen each other's iron, because that is what it's all about. Thank you so much. Oh, there she is. Come here. Let me see that face. Hi. See, okay, sorry. Talk about distraction. Me right here. Hi, let me see the babies. All right, good to see you guys. Thank you for being on. And so I'll post the recording in probably about an hour. Thank you. Bye, Kat. Good to see you, Mary. Thank you, Christy, Yossi, Sherry. Bye.